What's up, everybody? Welcome to Around the NHL Episode 2. This is an NHL-based podcast where I, Alex, talk to you about a variety of topics around the NHL world. In Episode 1, we talked about the top free agents that were still out there. And in this episode, Episode 2, I wanted to talk about probably the biggest thing in hockey that's happened in this late August period, and that's Jimmy Vesey. I want to discuss his decision to join the New York Rangers. So this is going to be a Jimmy Vesey kind of reactions episode where I'm going to discuss what I think about him, what I think about where he picked, and kind of the future for him. So let's just take a look at Vesey, okay? So he was drafted by Nashville. We know that. He was drafted in the third round, 66th overall. Okay? So back then, he wasn't considered much, right? Stays in Harvard for 4 years. Builds his hockey persona, and he was a very, very good player. This past year, he had 46 points in 33 games. That was kind of actually a down year for him. I mean, he missed a couple games, but the year before that, he had 58 points in 37 games. He had 32 goals in 37 games 2 years ago. So hockey, and he won the Hobey Baker Award this past year, so he was college's best player. Okay? So, I mean, this now, in 2016, where we are, he would probably be considered a late first-round pick. That's what a lot of people are considering to be as a late first-round draft choice. Okay? And so with this whole saga of him refusing to join Nashville, Buffalo traded for him. They gave up a third-round pick. They got him. They got his negotiating rights. They couldn't make it work. He went to free agency. And he talked to all these teams. And I'm going to be honest, the Rangers, I mean, they were always there, but I always thought it'd be between Boston, Buffalo, and Toronto. Those were my picks that I thought they would go for. I mean, I see a lot of things in all three teams. Toronto and Buffalo specifically being lots of young talent, a chance to grow. Boston being from his home, and we heard that he wanted to play near his home. Or at his home, or at least close to it. So I thought those three stood the best chance. The Rangers, I can also see the Rangers. Okay, I can see why he picked the Rangers. The spotlights are going to be on him, and I mean, so the Rangers have Jimmy Hayes, who was also a college player that they brought in. So, and he's friends with Jimmy Vesey, so it makes sense that Vesey decided to go. The reports of that a lot of celebrity, or not reports, we know what happened. Celebrities were tweeting at him to come to New York. So they had a lot of help to get him there. So I can see why he did it. So I just want to talk about, firstly, I wanted to talk about the choice of the Rangers. So the Rangers are a good team. The Rangers are a really good team. They've made the playoffs a lot in the past. They've made it multiple years in a row. They're a very good team. Although, this past year, it couldn't be clearer to me that they're on an absolute decline. And I think they'd be so much worse in this hole that I think they're in a hole. And I think they'd be a lot worse if Henrik Lundqvist wasn't their goalie. Okay, he single-handedly can help them stay a playoff. He can make them a playoff team every year just by himself. The team around him is not that great, not great at all. In a way, it kind of speaks to the fact that they needed Vesey and that he can play in their top six because they're missing valuable forwards. And even with Rick Nash, who really declined this past year, if he can come back to his normal form, then maybe they stand a chance. But they're not that strong forward-wise. Their defense, other than McDonough, is a joke. It's bad. And then Lundqvist as their goalie. So it's a very rocky team, and for them to be able to compete with Washington and Pittsburgh and the Islanders, and even now New Jersey with Taylor Hall, I think New Jersey is somewhat of a threat to make the playoffs. I don't think they make it, but they're going to get better. The division is very good, and the Rangers are kind of this team that has been stuck there for a while, being being an elite team, but not winning the cup. And I think their window did close. I think it closed 2 years ago. So I think they make the playoffs, sure, but I think they're a first, second round team out. And as for their future, I don't think it's going to be looking good with Lundqvist being 34. They don't have much longer to go. So I don't, as far as team success, I think he would have been better off picking Buffalo. I'm a Buffalo fan, yes, but if you look at all the teams, I even say Toronto. I think Buffalo is 1 or 2 years ahead of Toronto in their rebuild, to the point where I think Buffalo will make the playoffs this year. So Buffalo, I think, is already a good team and will be a great to elite team in the future. I think Toronto is just one step behind, but getting on Toronto's bandwagon now, getting on their team, and then kind of enduring 1 or 2 more seasons and then being good. There's that. Boston also has a lot of potential to play in a top 6. I still think they're kind of in the middle. I think they're probably declining too. So as for teams, I really thought, Chicago was that other team that was kind of hanging around there, and Vesey, the reports were that he wanted to play close to his home, so that's why he didn't pick Detroit, and Chicago's farther away from Boston than Detroit, so why would he pick Chicago? Well, Chicago, does have Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane, and I think Chicago offered the best position for him to play. I think Chicago is, immediately, they're already good. They're already going to make the playoffs. They're always a Stanley Cup contender. And then you get to play alongside Hossa, Kane, Toews, all them. Okay, so Chicago was a little weird that they didn't do that. But so that to me is my opinion on him picking the Rangers. I can see it because it does have the potential. He can play top 6 minutes, and I know a big part of his decision to pick a team was which team would offer him playing time and where would he be used at. Like what would his role be? I think the Rangers do make sense. I think a lot of the teams though make sense for his role. So Rangers is a little bit confusing. I'm not exactly sure. Now, I want to end this. I want to kind of discuss Vesey's future in the NHL, but I just want to say personally, after enduring this for several months, okay, they traded for him, June 29th, I think it was. I've kind of been sick of him for at least 2-3 weeks. I think this whole... Okay, here's the thing. He has the right to do what he's doing, okay? His kind of player, in his situation with going the college route and then being a free agent on August 15th, it's his right to do what he did. But, Buffalo recruited him with Eichel. We know that. Toronto did it with Matthews. Boston did it, I'd assume, with Bergeron. We know Corey Schneider, probably Taylor Hall did it with New Jersey. John Tavares did it with the Islanders. So Patrick Kane did it for Chicago. So teams were literally having their best players try and court him. And although he has a right to do this, does he really? He's a free agent, and he's more popular than the top free agents. He's more popular than probably Kyle Okposo, Milan Lucic of July 1st. And I don't really know what gives him the right to be like that. You know what I mean? He's a very good college player. He's proven that he's been elite in college level. There's been players with him with better pedigrees in the past that have failed at NHL level. I'm not saying he's going to fail. I don't think he's going to fail at all. I really don't. But in terms of his past and what he's accomplished, he's really accomplished nothing. He's accomplished nothing. He's been a Hobie Baker. He won Best College Player of the Year. Yes, that does count for something. But for the teams to go crazy over him, and, he can only make so much in this first contract. Every team is going to offer him the max, with the max bonuses structured the same way. So it really just goes based off the team. You got to wonder, is he worth it? And I'll tell you right now, is he worth the hype? Absolutely not. Okay, he even said... I'm recording this the night of when he decided to go to the Rangers. He even said that don't expect him to come in to be a savior. So is the hype worth it? I don't think it is whatsoever. I don't think he's going to be this elite player. I don't really think anybody ever expected him to be this elite player. He is very much actually like a Jimmy Hayes. That's what you should expect of him point-wise, and that's not exactly the kind of player he is, but it's close, and again, that's kind of the point area you'd expect from him. Vesey is not this, he's not going to be this 80-point guy, and for the hype that surround him, like absolutely crazy hype, there's no way he's going to match this hype. I mean, in a way, I'm kind of, like I said, I kind of dumped the whole thing. I was kind of tired of him, and tired of the whole, just this whole situation. And I mean, he didn't pick Buffalo, so I'm naturally a little angry. But I am happy that he didn't choose Toronto. He didn't choose his hometown Boston, and he did pick a team that is in a obvious decline. I'm very happy. I think the Rangers were actually like if he didn't pick Buffalo, I wanted him to pick the Rangers just because it would upset Toronto, Boston, and it would make him be worse too, because I don't think that's a team that he's going to succeed that much on. So in that way, I'm kind of happy. As for his future, what do I think he's going to be? Well, they're going to put him as a top 6 forward because I think you have to do that now. Whether or not he really is a top 6 forward, to be honest, I don't think he is a top 6 forward. He's probably a top 9. He probably will eventually settle in on the third line, maybe second line. Maybe. He's not a top line player. He's not going to get 30 goals, 30 assists. He's not going to do that. To be completely honest, this year, I think he maybe hits 35 points maximum, 35 to 40. And I think he tops out as a 35 to 45 point player. I don't think he ever hits 50. That's my bold prediction. I don't think Jimmy Vesey will ever hit 50 points. He's not that great. He really isn't. He never was. I'm not saying this because I'm mad. I wouldn't have expected him to do this in Buffalo. I would have expected 15-15, 20-15. That's what I would expect. I would have expected 30 to 40 points. And that's what I think he's going to get you every year, which is good. That's a good hockey player. But I just don't think he's going to be the superstar people thought he was. So guys, what do you think about Jimmy Vesey? Let me know in the comments. Do you like his decision? What do you think of him as a hockey player? Let me know. Make sure you subscribe to Podcast Now, our YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video and share it with all your friends, all your hockey friends. And I will see you guys for episode 3.